Good evening, everybody. Good evening to Ashtanga's webinar series. Yet another webinar, very interesting webinar to go on with. So after a period of 2 months, we are coming back to the webinar series. Today's topic is revolution in food industry and adulteration, myths and realities. The guest speaker is Dr. Sukanya VP, BAMS MD, Assistant Professor in the Department of Swasthavritta at Karnataka Ayurveda Medical College, Mangalore. So people's habits and perspectives have changed since the post-pandemic era. Nowadays, people are most conscious of what they eat and are trying to adapt to a healthier lifestyle. The food industry too is innovating and adapting its manufacturing processes to meet customers' preference. On the other hand, food adulteration has increasingly become a matter of concern. But how true are those bits of information we see or hear in our daily life? Join us for our upcoming webinar that is today, right now. Dr. Sukanya has completed her BAMS at Amrita School of Ayurveda, Amritapuri, Kollam, and her MD at SDM Ayurveda, Udupi, Ayurveda College, Udupi. She is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Swasthavritta at Karnataka Ayurveda Medical College, Mangalore. Prior to pursuing her MD, Dr. Sukanya worked at the Patanjali clinic as a consulting physician for a year and worked as a consultant doctor at Kottakkal Aryavaidya, shala, Mangalore. Dr. Sukanya is well versed in clinical medicines and practices, medical nutrition, therapy, yoga therapy, naturopathy, psychotherapy and counseling, cosmetology in Ayurveda, and management of lifestyle and communicable diseases. She has conducted various educational and tutorial sessions about nutrition and wellness in various famous institutions. Dr. Sukanya has participated in various national and international seminars and also presented a lot of scientific papers at national and international conferences. Welcome, Dr. Sukanya.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Before going into the session, I would like to ask the Executive Director, Mr. K.S.Varier of Ashtanga Ayurvedics, to kindly give an introduction to Ashtanga Ayurvedics.
Thank you, Dr. Girish. It is always a pleasure introducing Ashtanga to people. So K.S.Varier's Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited, as the name goes. K.S.Varier is a person who founded the institution in 1936. Now it is about 85 years and running. And it has been a family institution run by the family, and we manufacture about 300 products. We are into clinical Ayurveda. We have 3 clinics in the city, and we also give consultations outside. Dr. Girish has been traveling to Chennai as well as Bangalore. Now he is planning to travel to Coimbatore also for this. We have years of experience in Ayurveda, and we have doctors like our own Dr. K.S.Varier you see on the screen, who has put in 51 years of service. So we are an experienced group of Ayurvedic physicians as well as formulators of products. We, as per the 300 and odd products that we make, we have about 200 plus classical products, as we refer to as the generic products from the textbooks of Ayurveda. Then about 50 products which are our own experiential products, and more than 50 products as food products, Ayurvedic foods, which have been brought out recently into the market. So we are a group, forward-looking group, looking to grow and going ahead. With that short introduction, let me give the screen back to Dr. Girish.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful introduction of Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited. Before going into the session, I would like to thank Mr. Vigneshwaran from eQuadriga for taking care of the whole session, making it run very smoothly. Thank you, Vignesh. And please continue to do the good work. I would also like to welcome Dr. K.S.Varier, our senior most doctor, as well as the medical superintendent of K.S.Varier's Ashtanga Ayurvedics. Welcome, sir. So with that, I would like to ask Dr. Sukanya to take up the stage. Welcome, doctor.
Yes, thank you once again. Namaskaram to all. Greetings to all of you. First of all, I would like to congratulate the efforts of K.S.Varier's Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited. The team demands an applause from the audience. So, and I express my sincere gratitude for this platform. So, without much delay, can we go to the session? Shall we start sharing the screen? So our title is, we are speaking about revolution of food industry and adulteration, a scope of myths and realities. We'll go to the second slide directly. There you can see a beautiful image of a sadhya. It's a traditional sadhya, and we are all familiar with that. So nothing can beat this incredible nutritional profile of a traditional sadhya. So all of us are determined to celebrate this tradition with such very delicious feats as always. So the process of cooking sadhya, serving it, and having it together is precious and joyous moments in our family. So all the dishes served on this plantain leaf for sadhya are the storehouses of micronutrients and proteins. So let's take a pickle as an example. Pickle is very much probiotic. It's essentially needed for the human health. Let's take sambar. Sambar have wide range of spices which are antioxidant, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory agents. The unique and intricate flavor of kalan and the flavor of olan. Let's take avial. These are very much naturally aromatic without any flavoring agents or without any addition of preservatives and taste enhancers. Or let's take a simple dal and ghee. Dal and ghee is enriched with potassium, packed with a lot of vitamin A, vitamin D, iron, etc. And magnesium in this dal helps in controlling the blood pressure for improving and improve the human health. So its vitamin E content, also anti-aging, helps the skin retain its suppleness and freshness. The elasticity of skin is maintained by the anti-aging vitamins, that is vitamin E, that is seen in dal and pulses groups. So this traditional sadhya or this Indian meal is the blend of gut-friendly foods and antimicrobial factors. So we can say absolutely it's a calorie sufficient, balanced meals. So let's take avial once again, each and all dishes. I want to discuss the scope in detail, that's why. So let's take avial, for example. It's made with a mix of vegetables cooked with coconut. It's loaded with nutrients and antioxidants. It's very good for heart diseases and it's reducing cholesterol. Let's take Kottakkal. You can see. So in the Kottakkal, we use chickpea, abundant amount of chickpea. Chickpea is a rich source of proteins and it's with low glycemic index. That's why it can help to prevent the diabetes, type 2 diabetes, etc., obesity. So it is designed with low glycemic index, the Kottakkal. Let's take kalan. It's very popular and made with buttermilk and turmeric, enriched with probiotics. So we use alkaline vegetables roots for cooking kalan. That's why it is packed with nutrients to boost the growth of gut-friendly microbiota. Also, it can balance the hormone status in the woman. And let's take rasam. Rasam is so much flavorful and so much popular during the pandemic. Now, pandemic onwards, at least one daily we are preparing rasam, which is so much flavorful and packed with lots and lots of antioxidant spices and antimicrobial, antifungal factors. Even we consider this as an immune enhancer. So we replaced our immunity, like we have added rasam as one of the. Okay, the questions are coming right now onwards. Okay, I will take it later once I finish the presentation. Okay.
Doctor, I will take up the questions at the end of the session if necessary. Right now, you can just continue with the presentation.
Yeah, I will proceed.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we consider this as an immune enhancer during the pandemics onwards. So that is the rasam. And of course, there is a great envisage of wisdom and vision behind the nutrition. So the harvest of vegetables, the season of harvest, and cooking methods, we see it as samskara in Ayurvedic classics. The cooking and processing methods, and the feeding practices and feeding behaviors, serving pattern, all have very scientific logic and aspects, which is already inscribed in classical textbooks. So next slide, can we go? Yes. So now the toxic transition to fast food industry, that is, we are going beyond our heritage and culture. We just crossed the borders. We almost entered and switched into fast food life with fast pace. So there, now in this fast life, we lack the obedience of traditional wisdom. That means fast life induces fast lifestyle changes. And lifestyle changes can lead to fast food consumerism in great extent. So India is the capital of the diabetes, unfortunately, in the world. Now, many people recognize that junk food, fast foods, processed foods, white flour, refined sugar, maple syrup, honey, agave nectar, all are processed and added with numerous flavor enhancers, coloring agents, bulking agents, etc. So this toxic behavior in the food industry that is prevalent in day to day, this leads to the risk of heart diseases, obesity, dementia, cancer in the consumers. So the consumers are human. So it is detrimental to human health. We can say absolutely. So there is a link that is existing in between fast food industry, the fast food, processed food industry, commercial baked foods or sweets with sweets and other beverages. So these are directly linking to the destruction of brain cells and lowering the intelligence in human. So candies, even a simple intake of candies can eventually stimulate the brain in an addictive fashion. That's why if we take candies, it will become an addiction for us. So we have to terminate that habits, the intaking of junk food, fast food, and even the candies can stimulate the addictive action in the brain. And all over, we have to, the study shows remarkable results regarding the brain cell destruction and lowering of intelligence. Okay. So these are serious illnesses which we have to consider very seriously. So the nutritional fundamentals accepted by the World Health Organization and most nutritional authorities today recommends vegetables, beans, nuts, seeds, and fruits as healthy foods. So salt, saturated fat, and excess sugar as a disease-causing food. Excessive amounts of animal products also may lead to premature aging. Premature aging means early geriatric sign. So increased risk of chronic disease also, or lifestyle disease also linked in with that. So the fast foods are packed with excess calories that shorten our lifespan. So premature aging, lifespan, brain health, everything is altered. So where moderate caloric restriction slows aging process. This is also one of the study results that is carried in Michigan University. It shows that it reveals the study results like moderate caloric restriction shows the slowing down of aging process. That means the aging process is irreversible. You can't reverse your age into childhood or into adulthood. So what you can do is you have to restore the vitality. You have to maintain that the life, the energy, enthusiasm, luster, complexion, whatever is the youth characteristics, we need to maintain it as even if we are progressing the aging. We know according to Sharangadhara, the aging is a loss of sequential loss of vitality. That means the loss of prabha, loss of chavi, loss of dhadu, dhadukshaya, everything. Intelligence, methakshaya, everything is there. So at least we have to maintain it so that you can restrict your calorie intake and fast foods. So it is the high time to shift and return to the positive, healthy life where abundance of traditional wisdom and ancient knowledge is existing. So we'll go to next slide. Yes, here, this is about remodeling food and agricultural policies to make healthy diets. Agri-food systems to be more inclusive, efficient, and sustainable, of course. So we must talk about the perspectives of malnutrition too here. Government of India have the mission and vision to eliminate all forms of malnutrition for a progressive, healthy India. So we generate high quality evidence for tracking and tracking, research and development process, clinical trials, everything. So here we have to monitor for the environment and sustainability index. That means the carbon footprint during the processing of food. So here public health nutrition problem is a serious among population group. So Government of India collaborated with National Institute of Nutrition, conducts an operational research for planning and implementation of national nutrition programs in the country. So the Swasthavritta students in third year, there is a syllabus point of national nutrition policy. So it covers various spectrum of nutrition knowledge, agriculture, feeding patterns, food inequality, food fats, everything. So here National Institute of Nutrition Hyderabad is studying food and environmental safety challenges to ensure the quality food provision to the consumer through R&D. So research and development, various research and development are proceeding to reach the food, healthy food, safe food and qualitatively superior food into the hands of a consumer on the table. So capacity building is existing in the nutrition sector, and training is there, and scientific advice to various government authorities involved in the food production, food processing, and control is also a strong component in India. So Government of India is facilitating the hygienic practice in the food industry, manipulating lot of national nutrition strategies and programs. And unfortunately, we must take this point that India is the land of poverty and hunger. So poverty and hunger is inherently united with India as a nation. So national nutrition policies is to provide the best estimates of nutrient profile food with cost-effective supply chain. That means low-cost effective food supplementing tendency is there in the national nutrition policy because of the high hunger and the poverty. So protection of biodiversity of food resources and complementing to eliminate malnutrition is also our key feature focus for Sustainable Development Goal 2030. So SDG 2030 says 17 goals. In that, 12 goals are related to nutrition. So that you have to consider in the mind. So our key feature focus is to eradicate the poverty and malnutrition in India. And the goals have to be target goals have to be set by 2030. At least we have to cover 10 out of 17 goals in Sustainable Development Goal 2030. So nutrition scientific authorities of India always are studying the risk factors of non-communicable diseases through clinical research and community-based research. It helps to disseminate the nutrition knowledge to the community. So further, it extends the technical advice and support to the food regulatory and standards making bodies, like food regulatory bodies, food standards. A lot of rules and legal measures are there. We will discuss it in the coming slides in the country. So we recognize this and realizes the toxic food industry, and we are keen to the plate of meals containing preservatives and additives. We are keen means we have to be very much conscious of what you are taking in a plate of meal. Whether it contains the 50% of that meal contains preservatives and additives or other flavor enhancing agents. All the ready-to-eat food packets are in high demand for the consumers in this day-to-day life because we are living in a fast-paced society or a fast food culture. Industrialized, urbanized areas, most of the people are using ready-to-eat food packets. But we have to wake up to the pace to retard this behavior with specific reference to this industrialization and urbanization in food industry with legal measures and awareness to the common population. So more nutrition, information, education, and disseminating this information to the very local communities, and we have to facilitate the locally produced resources and indigenous fruits and vegetables very much to replace the ready-to-eat packed food. And we have to go back to the traditional wisdom, having the home-cooked food. Okay, so next slide. Yes. So in that previous slide, we have already mentioned the India is one of the lands of poverty and hunger. That means Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, it's recently released a World Hunger Map and World Food Insecurity Map. So India, unfortunately, placed a position in the World Food Insecurity Map also. So that is also one of the detrimental thing to the human life. We are getting the insecure food. unsafe, unhygienically produced or unhygienically processed foods to the Indians. So nutritious food with availability and cost effectiveness, even though we are driving with the mission Malnutrition Free India or Kuposhan Mukt Bharat. These are our policy schemes. But we have to reach that momentum. We have to reach the target yet. So nutrition is the key feature for attaining SDG 2030. That is also one of the remarkable fact. So let's come to National Nutrition Policy. Anemia Mukt Bharat and Kuposhan Mukt Bharat, Rashtriya Poshan Ma and Poshan Abhiyan, that is going to be celebrated in September. First week is National Nutrition Week. Strithan Project, Midday Meal Program, Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram, Janani Suraksha Yojana. These are all national central government nutrition schemes that common people can get the advantage and to be utilized very well. So National Nutrition Policy is the key action having manifesting impact on agriculture, food production, food supply, education, healthcare, food equality, social justice, tribal welfare, urban development, women and child development, rural development, and also it have direct link with food standard regulations, prevention of adulteration, food labeling, standards and safety. So indirectly, it relates with tribal welfare, urban development, rural development, social justice, food supply, agricultural, everything. And directly, it relates with food standard regulation, prevention of adulteration, the food labeling practices, standards and safety, healthcare, education, food production, food supply, everything. So that is the key objectives of this National Nutrition Policy. It is not merely supplying its food. It is a network of educative materials that you are just interlinked with different sectors. Let it be women and child. For women and child, Janani Suraksha Yojana, Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram is for adolescent population. Midday meal program is for to eradicate the malnutrition in the school health children or school children. Strithan project is for exclusively that is dedicated for the women's health. Rashtriya Poshan Ma and Poshan Abhiyan. Again, it empowers the nutrition concept in India. And Kuposhan Mukt Bharat, we have to eradicate the poverty and malnutrition. Anemia Mukt Bharat, iron fortified food distribution, folic acid fortified staple food distribution, everything, fortified milk, fortified bread, fortified staple diets, everything is coming under this National Nutrition Policy. So it is indirectly going to tribal welfare, urban and rural development, and overall, it can improve the socio-cultural economic development. So that is the food is the substratum not only just for the health of a person or a human population, it is overall the boosting factor for the national development. So food, there is so much war happened, and food is also considered as a weapon of war in some countries internationally. So that much importance is there in the food and the hygienic processing of the food and the food industry, food industrialization, of course, the fast food culture, the toxicity of the food products. So that's all the nutritional scheme. Through the scheme, Government of India extending helping hand to cater the needy and to cater the nutritional needs of the society. Our key focus is to eliminate the poverty and malnutrition. So next slide. Yes, Mission Portion. So Mission Portion, this is all about Mission Portion. So here, integrated child development services to address the malnutrition. It's one program. And malnutrition contributes to 50% of the mortality and morbidity by reducing resistance to infection. Okay, that means immunity is lowered, more infections happens, and the malnutrition contributing to mortality, morbidity, hospitalization, serious illness. So Pradhana Mantri Madru Vandana Yojana and Anganwadi services, these also contributes indirectly to the nutritional aspects of a society in India, especially in rural area. Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation also connects with the nutrition goals and nutritional policies. Now almost all have household connection of pipes and water purification methods. Waterborne infections are less. That's why if you are suffering from waterborne infection, the nutrient will not be absorbed and nutrient metabolism will be it will be get blocked. So that's why we are interlinking with various sectors. Let it be a water intake, let it be a protein intake, let it be a social status, let it be cultural status, let it be the profession. Everything is related to cater the healthy, nutritious needs. So if the metabolic problem is there, we are making to we are treating that metabolic problem, and we are finding the fact checks of what is the abnormality of the nutrient insufficiency or what is this micronutrient deficiency. Sometimes it is because of the microthyroid problems will be there because of the region. So Desha, Kala, Matra, everything is there aspects. So Ministry of Women and Child Development, of course, we know the Poshan Ma, Poshan Abhiyan and Stridhan project, everything is facilitated by Ministry of Women and Child Development. Swachh Bharat Mission, Food and Public Distribution. Swachh Bharat Mission not only advocates the hygienicity of the places, it also advocates the hygienicity of the places where cooking happens or food processing happens. So Swachh Bharat Mission is also have a link with the food processing or food industry. And Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme also have an indirect connection to improve the nutritional status of the society. So Ayurveda, coming to Ayurveda points, it will be more interesting. We are all Ayurveda doctors. So Ayurveda recommends and contributes dietary guidelines for the children. For example, let's take children, the Anna Prashana and Phala Prashana. It's a beautiful description in Ayurveda classic textbooks. Ayurveda emphasizes on nutrition of children for the maintenance of health. Kshirapa, Kshiranada, etc. are the various terminologies related with the nutrition. Okay, we are giving Kshirapa, Kshiranada. That is a nutritional terminology. Okay. And various regional foods also can be used as complementary foods such as ragi halwa, ragi idli, payasam, mixed millet and drumstick leaves dosha, green gram khichdi. These are all explained in the Bhojana Kutuhala for the children from 6 months to 2 years. Ragi idli, payasam, mixed millet, drumstick leaves, dosha. So these are the utilization of indigenously resourced vegetables. Okay, these are high calorious and with much nutrient dense. Also, it is anti-inflammatory, everything is there. So these are not toxic. These are not added with any preservatives or additives. Ayurveda recommends nutrition for lactating mothers. So children we just spoke about. And lactating mothers, dietary conducts Ayurveda recommends during first 45 days after delivery. So here, barley, crushed wheat, mudgayusha with grida and taila are using in wide range for 7 days. And also the food of Sutika shall be processed with Deepaniya dravyas like maricha, pippali, shundi, etc. Methi laddu is one of the very familiar diet among Sutika population. So Metika laddu or methi laddu is a traditional recipe made of methi, shundi, coconut, shatavari, chandrashura, vidari, and jaggery. Shatavari Kshirabaka is also very popular. We can give for Sutika as a postnatal care, as a antenatal care diet. We can give soups made of shigru and lashuna. Soups made of garlic and drumstick leaves is very good, which can beat the inflammations and toxins inside the body. So that's why we have to use the green drumstick leaves or other green leaves abundantly instead of the powders from the market. And also very interesting phenomena that we can come across in accordance with the fortification habit. So for a Sutika, fortification of wheat, that is Godi, fortification of wheat with Shatavari for making chapati is a very good nutritional practice that is found in North India. The government is fortifying Shatavari powder. That means 30 gram Shatavari powder are being fortified with the 1 kilo atta for, so wheat is always in the North India, it is a staple diet. So it covers some MCH problems. So as a Ministry of Women and Development, scheme MCH and everything, National Rural Health Mission also imparts this fortification habits. You can fortify anything with staple diets. That is hygienically and nutritionally, it must be progressive. Okay. And as per Ayurveda, the general advisory guidelines of nutrition is based on the principles. So Ayurvedic principles, there are 5 rites of Ayur portion. So Ministry of Ayush recommends Ayur portion as 5 principles of Ayurveda, like Kala, Matra, Quality, Samskara, Desha. No need to describe, explain rather about that. Like Kalam, it is a time of eating or time of cooking. Matra, the quantity of eating, the quality of eating. Samskara, there are numerous types of samskara or processing of foods is the Desha, the region, the geographical region where a person is habituated to live and survive. So that also, even the environment, climate, weather, everything is adapted to the, everything must be well adapted to the food you are taking. That's why in Rutucharya, you can see various diet formulations in each perspective, Rutu. Okay. So food fortification in Ayurveda for anemia in pregnancy. Let's take an example, food fortification in Ayurveda for pregnancy-induced anemia. So here, you can fortify with Jiraka, Ardraka, Lashuna, Haridra as a fortifying agents. And again, milk, Kshira processed with Shatavari, Vidari, Bala is in wide practice. Bala Kshirapaka, Shatavari Kshirapaka, the milk already fortified with these powders. So some technologies, you have to embrace such very advanced technologies. That is the key factor in for the future generation. So this is exclusively, you have to accept it's all merits, because these are all technology. You can fortify it with healthy ingredients. So that is the key factor for the future nutritionally superior generation. And also use of Shigru Patra in diet. So Shigru Patra is anti-inflammatory, analgesic, a lot of benefits, health benefits are there. So you can use Shigru Patra in the diet. Shigru leaves contains fiber, fat, protein, minerals like calcium, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, copper, iron, sulfur, everything is there. So this can beat the anemia. Vitamin A, vitamin B, choline, everything is present. Choline, everything is present. So next slide. Okay, some of audience are not understand. Shigru means it's drumstick leaves. Drumstick leaves we are using. Shatavari is you can get from the pharmacy, Shatavari powder. Okay. Ardraga is ginger. And Jeera is nothing but cumin seeds only. Haridra is turmeric. That's only I used the terminologies. So here, variety of foods is not only the spice of life, but also the essence of nutrition and health. So that is the key motive in the balanced diet for Indian. So we prefer freshly, locally available vegetables and fruits in plenty. Adults must choose low-fat, protein-rich foods such as lean meat, fish, pulses, and low-fat milk. And we have to develop eating habits, healthy eating habits, and exercise regularly to avoid the sedentary lifestyle. So in India, 70 to 80% of total dietary calories are derived from carbs present in plant foods, such as cereals, millets, and pulses. So dietary fiber delays and retards absorption of carbs and fats and increase the satiety value. So the fiber content in the... Yes.
Excuse me, doctor. Yeah. So I had some technical issue. That's why I was not able to respond back to you. I was hearing you. There is one message in the group saying that some of us do not understand the Sanskrit terms that is say for the foods. So please, can you explain in common terms? Please do take it into your mind, doctor.
Yeah, I saw the message. I have read it.
Yes. I was able to hear you when you asked me, but I was not able to respond to you.
Yeah, I repeated that Shigru Patra terminology so many times.
Yes.
So
Yes,
nothing
yes.
but drumstick leaves. Okay, drumstick
Sure thing.
leaves.
Thank you, doctor. Yeah.
Okay. So dietary fiber in the plant foods, such as it delays and retards the absorption of carbohydrates and fats. That means it is increasing the filling value, or it will be a stomach filling meal. The more dietary fiber, it will be more the filling meal. The satiety value. Satiety value is nothing but the satisfaction level in accordance with the bioavailability. So diets rich in fiber reduce glucose and lipids in the blood. So here the fibrous foods can reduce the glucose and lipids in the blood. Okay. So the diets rich in complex carbs are more healthier than low fiber diets based on refined and processed food. So most of the refined processing or any other fast food industries, we are choosing the refined rice or refined bread, refined sugar. So in that, complex carbohydrate is not there, complex glucose is not there. That means the dietary fiber is very less. So more dietary fiber will retard the level of glucose and cholesterol level in the blood. So always choose unrefined products. Okay, unrefined and unprocessed. Yeah, little slight processing is mandatory. Like from in agriculture, from a paddy field, if you have to grind the grain and you have to soak, and so many procedures are there for processing in order to reach onto the tabletop. So anyway, you have to choose the unrefined, which is very heart-friendly material, food material. So you can consider food groups such as cereals, millets, pulses as one group. One group, cereals, millets, and pulses. The second group, vegetables and fruits. The third group, you can consider the milk products and eggs. The fourth one, oil, fats, nuts, and oilseeds. So here, protective foods means green leafy vegetables, eggs, milk, and milk products. These are protective foods. And what are the bodybuilding foods? These are proteins, pulses, nuts, oil seeds, meat products, milk products. These are the body building foods. And coming to energy rich food, while choosing the meal, while choosing the food items, what you are ingesting for, you have to categorize. Passively, you just categorize whether you are having a protective food, whether you are having a body building food, or whether you are having an energy rich foods. So if you had already energy rich foods, there is no need of extra calorie. So almost all processed foods are highly packed with calorie, with no nutrients. Okay, so you have to dissipate that calorie through workout or through other activities. That you have to think. So energy rich foods are the whole gem, cereals, millets, ghee, butter, sugar, nuts, oil seeds, everything. Whole grain considered as an energy rich. Butter, ghee, everything is energy rich foods. So next slide. So as Indians, we have to, as I already mentioned in the slides, that oils and nuts are with high calories and energy density. Cereals, millets, pulses are major sources of nutrients. You have to balance the diet by combining the diversity of nutrients. That means use a combination of whole grain, greens, and grams. Pulses, oils, nuts together, or cereals, millets, pulse together. Okay. And vegetables and fruits provide other protective elements, vitamins and phytonutrients. These vitamins and phytonutrients from fruits and vegetables is highly anti-cancerous and antioxidant that will fight against metabolic disorders, fight against the free radical generation inside the body. So that is the healthy choice of food. Next slide. Fortification of food. Okay, here fortification of food. Hope the slide is visible, even though I'm not seeing that. It's visible, I guess. Okay. So fortification is the addition of key vitamins and minerals such as iron, iodine, zinc, vitamin A, and vitamin D to the staple foods such as rice, milk, salt to improve its nutritional content. So nutrients may or may not have been originally present in the food before processing. So after processing, you can fortify the foods. You can charge it with the addition of vitamin A, vitamin D, iron, zinc, iodine, etc. to the salt or rice or milk. So why do we need fortified foods? That is the question arising here. So here this the answer: 70% of Indian population are with micronutrient deficiency. 70% of preschool children presenting anemia and subclinical vitamin A deficiency. So neural tube defects are also most common congenital malformation among the children population in India. 50% of the birth defects also highly preventable if you change the food habits or change the food eating, lifestyle changes, or fortified food consumption for in long run. You can change the preventable causes. So one of the major concerns is folic acid deficiency. For most of the malnutrition among children is folic acid deficiency. And this extending chronic folic acid deficiency can give rise to neural tube defects in the coming, if it is not treated with fortified foods or other nutritional, medical nutrition therapies. So the deficiency of micronutrients is known as hidden hunger. That you have to understand. Hidden hunger. So there is a hunger, what we express and what we sense, we will go and eat. But there is also one aspect, that is concept of hidden hunger. Hidden hunger, we cannot sense it, or we cannot express, or we will not be tempted to have a food on the go. So that is the deficiency of micronutrients. Okay. Hidden hunger status is very common in India, those presented with micronutrient deficiency, which is very serious and critical. If we are not understanding the problem, the nutritional problem, such as micronutrient deficiency or hidden hunger, it's very serious and critical. So there is a considerable amount of loss of micronutrients during the food processing. Everything is processed and packed and ready to eat on our table. So there is a considerable amount of loss of micronutrients during the food processing. Fortification substantially complements to facilitate the nutrient supply in diversity. So that means the pulse you can fortify with iron, or the nuts you can fortify with already zinc and magnesium is present. You can go for the vitamin A, and vitamin D can be vitamin B can be given to staple foods such as wheat, rye, bajra, and these kind of fortification you can give to the diversity of the vegetables and fruits available, or the staple food, grains and all. So since the nutrients are added to the staple foods, it's an excellent technology to improve the nutritional status of the large section of the population. That's why fortification demands a scope now. It's an excellent technology to cover all the nutritional demands of a large section of population at once, all together. So it does not require any changes in food behavior and patterns of the people. It's a socio-culturally acceptable technological way, and it can cater and deliver to the pupil altogether. It does not alter the characteristics of taste, flavor, feel, or look of the food. Like if you add vitamin D into the vanaspati, the vitamin D fortified vanaspati will not lose the characteristic of the taste, flavor, feel, or look of that food item. If you add vitamin B to the wheat, vitamin B fortified or vitamin B charged wheat will not lose any characteristics related to relish, flavor, look of that staple diet. So this method is very cost effective with technology and existing delivery platform. So India is developing existing delivery platform or upgrading. I'm audible, right?
Nice.
Okay. So the Copenhagen Scientific University, Copenhagen Scientific Community made a survey, a study survey that estimates that every 1 rupee spent on fortification results in 9 rupees benefit. So if you invest 1 rupees for fortification, that in return you can get a profit of 9 rupees. That means it may be the economic cost or social cost of government. So that is the one of the scientific study reveals that fact. It benefits to economy, national economic development, and it requires initial investment to purchase both equipment and vital mineral premix. So if you start a food industry that is going to fortify some foods like vitamin B charged cereals you want to produce, then only you have to invest certain rupees to purchase both equipment and vitamin or mineral premises or vitamin or mineral packets. So that is the concern here. And in India, midday meal program addresses wide range of malnutrition among children population. So in Rajasthan, there is a GAIN project from GAIN organization. GAIN organization collaborated with Indian Institute of Health and Management. So they organized one project in that the hygienicity in cooking, hygienicity in processing, hygiene and sanitation standards improvement, everything in the cooking place to cater the healthy and hygienic food to the school children. So here iron and folic acid fortified to soya and dal analogs. So they have produced much soya, they harvested soya and dal and they recharged it with iron and folic acid substances. And of course, in a rural area, there is physical and mental health will be very much lower in amount. So when you fortify iron and folic acid and give the food to the school children, it will improve their intelligence, EQ, IQ, intelligence, emotional consciousness, as well as mental health. The mental dimensions will improve if they get abundant of or sufficient amounts of iron and folic acid. And they charged thiamine fortification to wheat and bajra. And vitamin A, niacin, zinc also can be added and fortified with wheat, rice, or bajra with very cost-effective technology to address the nutritional catering. And vitamin A, calcium, margarine, bread, everything. To margarine and bread, you can fortify vitamin A and calcium. In the slide also, there is a display of milk has been fortified with vitamin D, vitamin A and vitamin D. And edible oils have been fortified 2018. It is fortified with some fats and vitamin A and D again. Vitamin B12, iron and folic acid also fortified with rice. So this is the business of malnutrition. It's a fortification industry. Yes. So next slide. Processed food and nutrition. That is the next slide. So here, urbanization increased the trend of intaking fast food. That means replacement of traditional meals with packed and processed food. The consumerism or the tendency to or the temptations for the packed and ready-to-eat meals is fascinatingly increasing. Awareness on labels, in that label also content of exact nutrients that is there in that bottle or shelf life of that product, and any additives is presence of additives. This is also very entities that you have to investigate. So next slide. Nutrient absorption from processed foods. So fortified processed foods are very sound, no problem. If you process the food and if you fortify it with vitamin A, vitamin D, zinc, iodine, iron, calcium, no problem. It is very sound, scientifically sound and nutritionally sound. It enhances the nutritional bioavailability. But processed food have no energy density. So always the processed food or refined food does not have any energy density. And dietary fiber does not have any. Sometimes it is with high calorific value. Sometimes it is with zero calorific value. Okay. In the junk drinks and all, you see the label. There is no calorie. There is no energy. And sometimes lack of dietary fiber, micronutrient deficiencies. That is nothing but hidden hunger is also there. Sometimes we see puffed and perched rice products or crispy food products, which is very easy diet, which is very tasty, which is very delicious to intake and easily digestible. We are making into the form of puff or perched appearance. It is easily digestible, but does not have any nutrients. That's why still the hidden hunger or micronutrient deficiency is existing in India. Chocolate chips or chocolate flakes are very common food that are very common diet eateries among children population with numerous additives without any nutrients. So these are all processed foods. So food processing, what is food processing? Food processing is nothing but it is the transformation of an agricultural product into food. So food processing includes many forms of steps, from grinding a gram to make a raw flour. That means from the agricultural field, you are grinding a grain or gram to make a raw flour. Complex, very industrial methods to make convenient foods. There are so much complex steps are there, and some processing play a vital role in reducing food waste and increasing the preservation values, or reducing overall impact on the environment and agriculture to make the food more secure. So primary food processing is necessary to make most edible food. So first of all, primary food processing is very basic. That is to make the edible food, to make the most edible food, edible forms of food. But secondary food processing means it turns the ingredients into familiar foods such as bread, etc. So there is some process to make a bread from a grain. There is some technological devices is there, equipment is there, processing is there, the shape, structure, everything, and you have to ferment it. So tertiary food processing has been criticized very much. After secondary food processing, we are coming to tertiary food processing. That is very criticized for promoting overnutrition and obesity. So containing too much salt, sugar, and too little fiber. So tertiary food processing is just to enhance its characteristics such as flavor, preservation value, satiety, not satiety value, and bioavailability and nutrient density, but more preservatives and additives, monosodium glutamate, colors, artificial colors, bulking agent, crisping agent, and anti-caking agents. Everything is added in the tertiary food processing. Okay. So if you see a cake that is very puffed and it's very fluffy and it looks attractive, presented with attractive design of colors and depicted so many. So that is the, you may think it is an art, but it is nothing but it's the industrialization of food that is sealed in a glass. You may tend to buy that cake or the product, but let me say it is packed with loads and loads of sugar, sweetened other alternatives, high fructose corn syrup, maltose, or sorbitol. Sometimes sugar alcohols will be there, sorbitol, agave syrup, everything. So which is unhealthy. Processing foods involves nutrient losses that already we saw. While refined rice, the white polished rice is lost so much nutrients compared with brown rice. So nutrient losses is very common during the refining. So using high heat during processing. So we know the samskara as Ayurveda doctors. In that, honey cannot be heated, dadi cannot be heated. Honey means the mathu, yeah. Dadi means it's nothing but curd. So curd cannot be heated. It is samskara viruddha. So the food molecules will lose its molecular structure or enzyme compatibility. And sometimes in high heat temperature, the processing, if you process it, continue the processing, then it will cause the loss of vitamin C. Another aspect is refined greens, refined beans or pulses have less vitamins, fiber, and minerals than the whole grains. Refined greens have less vitamin C, minerals, and fiber than the whole grains. So eating and refined grains are associated with high risk of high cholesterol, diabetes, and obesity. That is absolutely obvious. And again, processed foods actually takes less energy to digest them. Whole foods, according to the study. So published in Food and Nutrition Researcher. It's an article. It reveals more food energy content is retained within the body. Okay. So processed foods actually takes less energy to digest. I told it is easily digestible. It is very easy to have that chocolate chocolate chip dipped in milk and go for the life. So the thing is, it is easily digestible, but more energy is retained inside the body. That is the health risk factor. So processed food also tend to be more allergic than whole food. Sulfides, artificial other colors, sweeteners, sodium nitrite, BHA, BHT, these are all the additives, preservatives, chemicals like olestra, caffeine, and monosodium glutamate, everything are problem-producing agents. So foods that here already undergone for processing and commercial baked foods or frozen pizza and sometimes microwave popcorn or coffee cream. Some in cafeterias we will get creamed coffee, or everyone is popping up the popcorn. So that contains trans fats. So these are abundantly packed with trans fats. So this is the most unhealthy fat, and which increase the risk for high cholesterol, stroke, and cardiac problems. Okay. So next slide. This is all about instant foods and fast food. So instant food is nothing but, you can say, special processing is designed to dissolve the food molecules rapidly in liquid than the untreated product. You will get the soup, instant food soup packet, or instant noodles packet, or instant cornflakes packet. So here food molecules are designed to dissolve in the liquid medium for a rapid absorption. And then coming to fast food. Fast food is nothing but it's already made or or cooked. It's cooked, already made or cooked in order to in order for the order within minutes. Within minutes, the fast foods will be supplied because it's already cooked. Just so storage, handling, microbiological contamination are very major concerns regarding this. And calorie dense foods are also fast foods. Sometimes zero caloric value, sometimes high calorie dense. And fried fish, milkshake, pasta, noodles, these are all fast foods. Next slide. Street food and junk food. Street food means a wide range of ready-to-eat foods or beverages in street or public places, you can see. And hygienic preparation and pathological contamination is a brewing concern for this. And junk food, which is high in salt, sugar, and energy, and lack of proteins, vitamins, and minerals. This is also obvious. So next, clean and safe food. Clean and safe food means the safe and good quality foods are essential for health. Always you have to ensure the safety and cleansing, the cleanliness, freshness of your food that you are going to ingest. And naturally, there are some occurring toxins are there, and environmental contaminants are there, adulterants are there that constitute the hazard, human health hazard. So washing, refrigeration, cleansing techniques, storage, these must be facilitated to get rid of the contaminations from environment and other microbial articles. So certification marks like marks, it's very ISI mark. I'll discuss in detail. Reputed sources with our adulteration and pesticide residues. Without adulteration and pesticide residues, the reputed sources, you have to procure the food items without adulteration and pesticide residues from a reputed, reliable brands or reliable sources. So here, what makes foods unsafe? So microbes and products are responsible for food spoilage. We already know that. And naturally, enzymes are present in the food, also leads to destruction. So besides insects, rodents, natural toxins, adulterants, and various chemical residues beyond permissible levels makes the food unwholesome. In addition to moisture and environmental conditions like temperature, storage, also influence the quality of the food. So here, selection of right food is the first step to ensure safety and quality of food items purchased from reliable sources and ensure their freshness. So some foods carry the certification marks and assuring good quality. So AGMARK is for honey and ghee. AGMARK is the certified standard for good sample of honey and ghee. FPO is the food standard for fruits and vegetables. Especially the jams, squashes contains this label FPO. So this indicates the purity and security, safety. And ISI for food items and essences. Essences must contain the label ISI mark. And food colors. Food colors also must ensure the quality with an ISI mark. It's an international standard. While purchasing the packaged food, always look for best before or date of expiry. Always you have to read the label with all awareness, best before and the date of expiry, everything. Food handlers must observe hygiene. They should be free from wounds, illnesses, and sores. So traditionally in India, cooked food is touched by bare hands, while preparing the food or while serving the food or while eating the food. So use of spoons and other are encouraged to avoid this kind of contamination in food industries and restaurants. And also food may be adulterated with non-food material having inferior quality. Like spoiled, stale food is made of alternative, attractive and fresh. By adding harmful colors and chemicals, frequently adulterated items are milk and milk products, cereals and pulses. Spices, edible oils also frequently adulterated. So different classes of adulterants included non-permitted colors like methanol yellow and non-edible oils like castor oil, or cheaper agricultural produce like starches and milk powder, or metal contaminants like aluminum and iron fillings in the food. Everything, consuming such stale food leads to epidemic. So this kind of feeding behavior leads to epidemic outbreak. And buying from reliable sources and after careful checking of foods before shopping and insisting on certified brands will minimize the risk of adulteration. And we have to minimize the effects of pesticide residues also in the food. So pesticides used during the cultivation of crops in agricultural fields remains as residues in foodstuffs, vegetables and fruits especially. So that washing in the running water or peeling or hygienic cooking can reduce the residues. So next slide. Food poisoning. Okay. Food poisoning is nothing but it's perishable foods like meat and other vegetables are prone to spoilage due to microbial contamination. So these foods should be stored under refrigeration, preferably at a temperature 10 degrees Celsius or below. So however, even refrigerated foods or if stored for long can get spoiled. So cross contamination can be avoided by keeping cooked and raw foods separately like that. And also there is bacterial intoxications are there, like staphylococcal poisoning, especially in bakery foods and poultry items, fermented products, dairy products, custard and cream, khova in India. In India, khova is most frequently poisoned with staphylococcus. So this is just an enterotoxin produced in, and it's very heat stable. Even after cooking also, it will not be destructed. And it causes severe symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and dehydration, etc. And also botulism. Botulism is a neurotoxin. It's very heat sensitive. So its incubation period, the symptoms starts in the patient from 2 hours to the 14 days. So nausea, vomiting, headache, persistent constipation are one of the clinical symptomatology of botulism. And foodborne infections, salmonellosis or nothing but typhoid, shigellosis or dysentery, Vibrio parahemolyticus, hepatitis A, shellfish poisoning. These are all foodborne infection. So next slide. So talking about the epidemiology of food poisoning, Swasthavritta is very interested in talking the scope of epidemiology. So in India, due to emergence of urbanization and the wide variety of catering system emergence, the catering system who prepare the food and transport and serve to the community at a place away from the place of cooking is in an increasing trend. So its availability of wide range of packed food items within an establishment of food services contributing foodborne infections among the community. Even though it is cooking from the place away and we don't know the hygienical standard, sustainability standard and the pathogenic density in that or nutrient profile of that, still we need to order the food and the people will cater. So we need to think on the perspectives of environment, agricultural, our staple diet habits, food processing habits, and socio-cultural standards of human beings. Okay, of the country. So next slide. So here comes adulteration. Adulteration, adding non-nutritious food substances into the nutritious food that is of inferior non-nutritious substances like inferior quality products. The turmeric powder is mostly adulterated, and basin powder also mostly adulterated with soda, dust, husk, etc. And if you dissolve a spoonful of powder in 20 ml of water, 20 ml of lukewarm water, and just add any acids, like let it be a lemon juice or vinegar, citric acid or tartaric acid to the mixture. It turns violet or pink or purple color. That means it is adulterated. So you dissolve your turmeric powder or basin powder, 1 spoon, in 20 ml of lukewarm water, and add any home produced acids into that. Let it be apple cider vinegar or citric acid or any other tartaric acid. We can see the color change. So that's how you identify the adulteration. It's just a home technique. Next slide. Mustard seeds are mostly adulterated with argemone, and the coffee powder will be contaminated with chicory powder, and black pepper with papaya seeds, chili powder with brick bread powder, ice cream with washing powder sometimes. Honey is most commonly adulterated with water or sugar solution. Bajra is the nutrient, is a staple diet which is contaminated with ergot-infested bajra. Ergot-infested bajra they will supply. They will promote. Ergot-infested bajra means it is contaminated. You cannot consume it. And cloves will be contaminated with mineral oil. Next slide. Let's do a fact check of Indian thali. Indian thali. Let's do a fact check. So here, we grab a protein bar or we grab a ready-to-eat food, and we have an instant mixed food in this busy life to go to work. And frozen foods are our very favorite products. And baked products made the way to lunch boxes. Even we carry that to the workplace or school. So frozen pizza and other baked products or microwave cooked foods, everything. So it's just made the way to even our lunch box and home table. Microwave popcorns and became a routine food. So ready-to-eat bowl are conquering the market nowadays, and it is just replacing the traditional Indian thali. But let's see some facts on Indian home food. It can replace all protein bar, all popcorn, microwave, oven cooked any item, food items, or nut bowl, meal bowl, or salads, soups, everything. So the homemade food using indigenously resourced vegetables are not packed, processed, and thus it's absolutely healthy. So ready-to-eat foods are packed and processed with preservatives and other enhancers. That is unhealthy. So people live longest when they abstain processed and packed food. So just promoting average lifespan. That means the people are living in the blue zones are having the average lifespan, the most lifespan in the world. That means they abstain the processed and packed food. They don't have any supermarkets or markets near to them. So it is easily, inherently, or directly related with the lifespan. If you want healthy life, you have to abstain from the processed food. And you have to take more fruits and vegetables that is indigenously resourced. People living in the blue zone eat only home cooked foods. Look, instead of fortification, they will add coconut oil or ghee. It is just a charge of the fat in your food. So there is no need of burger, sandwich, or pizza, or any other mac and cheese for them. Okay. So these are the things, foods and healthy choices. And let's take an example in this meal. You can see the sambar and so many dishes. So let's take sambar or any overall. The cumin is there. We add cumin in Indian cooking. So cumin can lower the blood sugar level. Or the cinnamon. Cinnamon can lower the heart disease. Cardamom can reduce the cholesterol and the incidence of cavities. Turmeric can reduce the cancer. It acts as a cancer-fighting antioxidant. and coriander seeds, which is having antifungal properties. So next slide. So here we are just honoring the authentic recipes of traditional diets, the tradition and authenticity. We are honoring the recipes, and that will be complement to whether if you use the staple diet itself, and it's all highly packed with antioxidants, antifungal ingredients. So pickles are probiotic, of course. Pickles are probiotic. There is a scientific article revealing that it helps to grow the microbiota, gut-friendly microbiotic culture. So salting is an ancient preservation practice or a technique. Salting, not too much you can add. Too much salt will be the same phenomena from the processed food. So little salt, but it's a preservation technique without any chemicals. You can keep the pickle with long shelf life and satiety value. And we are not taking pickle more. Like as a side dish, very 1 spoon or 2 spoon only is indicated. Okay, so we just celebrated the Salt Awareness Week. We just celebrated the salt awareness and salt consciousness. Even the snacks are loaded. Snacks have more salt than seawater. Scientists say that. So the next slide, we'll go reducing your shelf life. No, before only. I saw a question and I answered in between. Reducing your shelf life. Okay. So here, no way that packaged food can replace our traditional homemade food. Hygiene and sustainability will not be questionable if you approach the traditional home food. So most packaged foods have excess sugar, excess fat, excess salt content, excess fats, and preservative. So preservative distracts the gut microbiota, weakens the cardiac muscles. But if you add salting is also one of the ancient preservation technique. So if you add sufficient quantity, it can increase the shelf life value. But if you add a monosodium glutamate, or if you add an Ajinomoto, or let it be a PHP or nitrite, that will disrupt the gut microbiota. Okay, so that is the difference between preservative chemicals and salting. It weakens the cardiac muscles. Preservative addition weakens the cardiac muscles, trigger the breathing problems, and it makes the children hyperactive and causing cancer. So shelf life of a homemade cook, let's take a shelf life of a homemade snack item. We made a ragi biscuit or ragi cookies. It will stay for up to 10 days. And after 10 days, we can't consume it. But if you buy a ragi biscuit from another brand from the supermarket, it will stay longer. So that is the contamination with chemical preservatives. So India's frozen food market is also 1.2 million and it's enhancing day by day. Frozen food, frozen peas, you will get frozen other milk products, you will get frozen meat, frozen fish, frozen pizza, bases you will get. That is also in high demand in Indian global food. So India marks 1.2 million in the global food industry, which is extremely and absolutely unhygienic. And sometimes colorful cereals we eat in the morning. So the colorful cereals have food color, and the food color has acrylamide. Acrylamide is highly carcinogenic. So that's why we have to avoid or neglect such attractive things, that is due to the false advertisements. Nothing can make so much intrinsic color and flavorful. So sometimes popcorn bags, we will eat the popcorn, but the popcorn bags will be filled with PFC. PFC means perfluorinated compounds. So this perfluorinated compounds will burst into the chemical compounds that will be carcinogenic in extreme heat when it is heating. Of course, the popcorn will be hot only. And in the famous chocolate industry, it's a Swiss chocolate industry that has found the evidence of salmonella presence. So salmonella infection was found in a Swiss chocolate industry. So that is hygienicity and ingredients matters a lot. Even though the attractive label, it's presented with attractive colors or crispy, fresh, and anything. Next slide. It's about food labeling. Food labeling era of false labeling, it just comes to an end in India, I must say. So that is food products are coming with warning signals. So brands are no longer to be permitted to hide their trans fat, salt, sugar content in the labels. So most of the brands will be hiding, but now onwards, legal measures are there to stop hiding. So Indian consumers can make the informed decisions and informed choices with all health consciousness. So FSSAI, it's a regulatory body in food safety and standards, encouraging the health star rating of the food, health star rating system. That means star rating or warning labels make the informed decisions and choices while shopping. So government tries to influence consumer behavior and food choices through the sincere labeling procedure. So food label color code has been in practice in some countries. Green color in the label will indicate health, red color unhealth. It is not vegetarian and non-vegetarian, that is also there, but the variety of color coding system is present in other countries. So food labels are to rethink or change in the purchasing decision. So it is just a very positive, welcoming step from food industry. Government of India regulates Junk Food Act to prevent the obesity. It's a welcoming step. We have a ray of optimism. So our government of India have to fight against diabetes and obesity, and again remodification of recipes, fat content or fat profile have to reduction of trans fat content have to be there, since we are in a land of poverty and hunger. The salt content and sugar content, food choices, everything matters. And some restaurants in UK are in the diet menu chart. They will be releasing the amount of carbon footprint also. So now if we book a flight ticket, we can get to know the carbon footprint, the thing. Then we can. So like that, it comes to food industry also. That means environmental challenges and food security. So if you are consuming a burger, how much carbon footprint is there? That is also written in the diet menu chart itself in some country, in UK, I think. Next slide. Next slide. Yes, consumer habits and food industry. So here, of course, coronavirus has taken a toll in food industry. So the pandemic changed the eating habits of the Indian consumers. Most people are rejecting unhealthy choices now, and it's fueling the demand for more plant-based protein or the neglection of meats. Most of them are converting into veganism or vegetarians. So it's just fueling more intake of properly cooked meals with high nutrients and antioxidants. So the stigma attached to meat products, fast foods, and it's highly considered to be, it's a guilty food according to consumers. Now it became a guilty food after the pandemic. So purchasing power shows people are shopping more fruits and vegetables to build the immunity. Plant-based proteins are on a great demand. COVID changed the mind and attitude of persons to positivity while selecting the foods or selecting the brands. So that's all. The pandemic influenced the global food industry. So perception of feeding choices, organic foods. There is a revolution of organic food or veganism culture and food supply chain. Demand of vitamin water and immunity drinks. That is also we will discuss it later. So next slide. It's about superfoods. Superfoods means it is chia seeds, hemp, flax seeds, sunflower seed with cornflakes created a breakfast revolution. Now we are replacing the dosha idli with a lot of nuts and salads. Chia seeds, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, iron, everything is there. Hemp, flax, sunflower seeds with the cornflakes. That is the new alternative breakfast. But nothing can beat this traditional meal anyway. Fermented, the homely fermented, naturally fermented products, which is having that carbs, 70% of carbohydrates. Salads, green tea, soups are coming to marketing industry with the obsession of immunity. Now Indians are obsessed with immunity, and advertisement really drains the brain of the people. So advertisement, you have to be very well aware from the exploitation. I must say from the exploitation. So it is just brain stimulating and brain draining. Green tea, there is a lot of advertisement regarding green tea that is good for weight loss. So green tea is the highest selling product in food industry in India. So green tea cannot lose weight, but it can fight against and it cannot fight against the cancer also. All over, it helps to boost the metabolism. That's all. Okay. And there is an abundance of stimulatory factors such as theoflavin and catechin in green tea is effective for metabolic status. So because of that, we can take green tea. Even if you drink tea also, it is good for metabolism. If you drink green tea, there is not much health benefits. Rather than just a green tea leaves contains theoflavin and catechin, which are antioxidant. That's all. It cannot fight against cancer and free radicals at all. Cancer treatment is different. Okay. And gluten-free foods also coming to us as fad concept. That means a fake concept. Gluten-free foods. So gluten is a mixture of protein of gliadin and gliadin. So found in abundance in wheat, rye, bajra. Unless we are gluten sensitive, more with celiac disease, we do not need to prefer such or shop such gluten-free products unless we are suffering from celiac disease or we are gluten sensitive. A global gluten-free market is also projected to cross millions in India. Global almond milk and soya milk market is also projecting millions in India among global food industry. So the composition, nutrition density, healthy fat composition of cow's milk never beat the alternative meals. That means never beat the alternative meals such as almond milk and soya milk. Next slide. Here is, you can say, protein powder. So protein powders are other tendency to purchase. The purchasing power of protein powder is more. It's very expensive though, but people likes to purchase. So let me say the protein requirement for a woman in a day is 46 gram. 46 gram per day. And for a man, it is 56 gram per day. And if you have to reach the target by eating soya, egg, milk, nuts, seeds, pulses, etc., oils, etc., a woman can reach the 46 gram per day, a man can reach 56 gram per day. If you are not hitting that target of 46 gram and 56 gram, then on the groundwork, we can seek for protein powder, no problem. Other than it will be just a toxic metabolic load in the stomach, that's all. And long-term effects are negative, leading to mortality issues if you consume the unsafe or unhygienically produced protein powder without any exercises and all. Next slide. So here we are talking about myths of immunity industry. So that's nothing but immunity is the new Indian obsession. I already told that. So there is immunity related stores in traffic. That means during the pandemic onwards, we are very familiar with the terminologies like immunity milk, immunity ice cream, vitamin water, zinc chocolate, and immunity honey, vitamin C chocolates, immunity laddu, immunity blended green smoothie. These are on high demand. So vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc has been excessively added to their branded food products. Supermarkets are loaded with immunity foods. So immunity milk have an advertising anthem by a company. Immunity milk has been launched with an advertisement, an anthem. So 29% of people are more interested in food items from locally and indigenously prepared resourced producers. But others, 29% of Indian means it is very less. So rest of them always going to the supermarket and taking the branded immunity products, which must be adulterated, which must be preserved, which must be added with a lot of chemical contaminants. So sales of multivitamin supplement also overtook the sale of diabetic drugs. Now we can see the sale of zinc tablets, zinc fortified foods accelerated than insulin markets. Now people are not taking insulin. Diabetes drugs is also on very less demand. That means more apparently healthy person also taking this immune tablets or immune food. Too much of zinc can cause detrimental effects such as copper deficiency, anemia, damage to nervous system, etc. So vitamin C sales also surged in India during the 2020. World Health Organization recommends nutritionally balanced, diverse meal instead of all of this. So the registered, unregistered, unapproved, scientifically not sound food products sold in India. Most of the such fake products sold in India, claiming that it is immune activators. So that is very wrong. Especially vitamin C chocolates and regular intake of zinc chocolate, zinc loaded, immunity ice cream, immunity honey. These are all how much it is registered, how much it is scientifically analyzed that it is immunity, it is packed with immune factors. Don't know. So next, next slide. It must be a refreshing start to a healthy plate. That means overeating in stressful circumstances. Most of us will be overeating to cope up with the stress. It's an ill behavior. So Ayurveda, Portion 5 principles we already discussed: Kala, Matra, Desha, quality, Samskar, everything. So we will not do that, but people have to take sensible decisions of eating habits. Stressful circumstances and nutrition effects in long run in this fast life is again leading to other lifestyle problems. So University of Michigan conducted a study that eating a hot dog can cost you 36 minutes of healthy life. That means eating nuts and seeds can give you extra 26 minutes of healthy life. So how wonderful is this? That is nothing but we are going to the concept of health nutrition index. Once again, I will say this. University of Michigan conducted a study that eating a hot dog can cost you 36 minutes of healthy life. Okay? We are calculating in terms of time, not in terms of money. Eating nuts and seeds can give you extra 26 minutes of healthy life. That is the scientific conclusion. And that is nothing but the concept of, next slide, Health Nutrition Index, that is HNI. Health Nutrition Index is calculated using 15 dietary risk factors. So food items are ranked according to Health Nutrition Index. So here, food items are ranked according to HNI. Foods with positive score can add healthy life. Foods with negative score is detrimental to life. Positive score, foods with positive scores are seeds, nuts, starchy vegetables, seafoods, legumes, soy products, etc. Foods with negative scores are red meat, sugar, sweetened beverages, and burgers. So these are negative scored food. Next slide. And sometimes the research works interestingly considers the scientific fact check of keeping pace with human health and environmental health in parallel. So it is a scientific, fascinating analysis that food contributing to global warming cannot be a healthy choice. Some vegetables can release the CFC and other greenhouse gases. That's also not environmentally friendly. The vegetables or fruits or other grams or grains, which is not environmentally, which is not compromising the environmental or creating the environmental challenges for tomorrow, it will not be regarded as a human health parameter. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So here, we'll just read this. We lost 71 minutes of life after serving corned beef with onion. These are all Michigan University study. We lost 15 minutes of life after serving with a sandwich. As Ayurveda science, we know the tama and the laziness, lethargy will come after heavy eating. 33 minutes lost for refrigerated peanut butter. 33 minutes lost for a jelly sandwich. Most of the school children are using as a lunchbox item. Focus on substantial health and life gain. So we have to choose the food with positive score or healthy HNI index, health nutrition index, which is expressed in the time. Next slide. Okay. So our salt awareness, we just celebrated Salt Awareness Week. So we found that our snacks, I'm little gaining the speed now onwards. It's already 8 o'clock. Our snacks are saltier than seawater. A study carried out in UK in accordance with Salt Awareness Week. They analyzed 100 snacks such as roasted peanuts, roasted pulses. Among that, 43% of them are found to be high on salt. These labeled as gluten-free, vegan, and fat-free, but high salt content. So majority of the brands are displaying color-coded nutrition information. Unhealthy foods were assessed in UK. During the survey study, the more snacks claiming as sugar-free are added with high fructose corn syrup, honey, sugar, alcohol like sorbitol, packed food contains high calories, etc. So next slide. We'll skip that. Next slide. Next slide. Organic food. Yeah, we'll go to organic food. So organic food, some interesting facts regarding organic food is explained in the slide. So organic food, let me give you a summary, short summary. In recent past, the idea of organic farming is very much booming. So it's a solution for maintaining sustainable agriculture due to its being less environmental impacts. Organic foods are products of holistic agricultural practices focusing on biodiversity, soil health, and chemical-free inputs. So with environmentally and socially responsible approach, we are doing the organic farming. With organic production standards, we have certification and standards. Total area of organic farming in India is certified is around 5.7 million hectares. India ranks first in terms of organic producers. India ranks ninth in area under organic agriculture. India exports 1.35 million organic certified foods. No use of artificial fertilizers and organic pesticides during organic farming. Organic meat is very much on demand. Organic meat is the meat without antibiotics and synthetic hormones. That you have to understand. And Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare always taking part in the organic farming facilitation movement. FSSAI of organic foods. And the organic label is with certification of specific organic food standards. In India, the FSSAI's organic branding is Jaivik Bharat. So in India, our organic branding is or safety standard is recognized as the label with Jaivik Bharat. So to the informed consumer, the label can function as a guide. So that is the importance. Next slide. We'll go with fast. Yeah, vegan diet. So here, veganism has gained a great momentum in the recent years. So it is often characterized as very restrictive with health benefits. That means vegan diet is defined as one that includes only plant foods, namely the grains, vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, and vegetables parts. It is described as a restrictive diet as it excludes meats and fish. Vitamin D, so like vitamin B12 is present, fortified cereal, vitamin B12 fortified cereal you have to use in veganism because vitamin B12 is absent in vegan. Vitamin B12 deficiency will be more prevalent. Zinc, iron, fat, and essential fatty acids are there. Soluble dietary fiber is very pronounced in the vegan diet. And this is plant-based protein. Plant-based foods have more dietetic fiber. That means, of course, the vegan diet lower the risk of type 2 diabetes and in the high blood pressure, obesity, heart disease. It tends to be lower in micronutrients. But it's also you can like balance that with wide variety of vegetables you have to blend and use if you are a vegan. Next slide. You can skip the next slide. Yeah. No, next slide. Yeah, this is the last slide. So millets are considered as silver bullets. We know the 2022 is known as the International Year of Millets. So there is ragi, sorghum, little millet, kodo millet, foxtail millet. These are all millets that can be utilized in cooking. So this is millet is small grained annual warm weather cereal belonging to grass family. It is good for those who are suffering from diabetes, obesity, and other lifestyle disorders. According to traditional medicine, millets support digestion, improve taste, nourish prana and blood deficiencies, increase lactation, harmonize metabolism, and calms the sleep. This is a quotation from traditional medicine. So millets are packed with calcium and loaded with abundant fibers, which help to lower the blood glucose levels and improve the insulin response. Fiber regulates the speed of digestion and helps in nutrient absorption and wholesome filling in the stomach. So pearl millet is nothing but bajra, foxtail millet is kangu, little millet is chana, sorghum is jowar, finger millet is ragi. So let me conclude. India contributes 1/3 of a global burden of undernutrition according to World Health Organization. But so we have to support the attainment of global targets. So National Nutritional Strategy launched in 2017 provides a platform to drive for the mission Malnutrition Free India 2022. So World Health Organization launched this program, Mission Malnutrition Free India 2022. So nutrition is central to the development or central to the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals 2030. At least 12 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are relevant for nutrition. So in addition, World Health Assembly also endorsed more MCH nutrition, RCH nutrition target to be set by 2025. So these are the United Nations Decade of Action on Nutrition Policies, and it offers a robust economic development and human development. So let's change the rhythm of toxic food culture and switch to more sustainable and locally produced food habits for a better tomorrow. So thank you. I'm concluding here. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. That was a wonderful session. Shall we go on to the question answer session without much further ado?
Most of the questions while presenting I have answered while I am
Yes.
But
Yes, I did notice that there are a few questions, I think. Yes.
Okay.
There are a few more questions, and there might be people who want to ask you directly as well.
Yeah.
So the first question which came in immediately was, Papad is regarded as Viruddhahara according to Ayurveda theory when it is made of urad dal. So how is it possible to make it as a regular dish?
No, we are not. These Indians are taking papad regularly. I don't think so. Most of the Indians, even in some festive incidents and all, it must be. It's not a regular, and it's Viruddhahara only. Since I displayed that image that containing papad, but there is a sustainable, the organic, the friendly, nutrition friendly papads are there available. Ragi papads and all is there. Bajra papads and all is there. And only we have to remember is the samskara. Whether the oil is reheated. If you are reheating the oil and again frying the papad, then it will cause the cancerogenic, like the toxin molecules. The peroxide molecules and all. There will be a formation of H2O2 and other aldehydes, and it can create a molecular change and chemistry in the oil texture. So don't reheat the oil, and almost all fried products are not good. That's what I wanted to say. It contains trans fat and all. So papad is in Nitya Sevani Aharya also, it's not indicated. Any fried products is not indicated. Okay.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you. So
that will be a modification in tradition. That's all.
Yes. So yes, Doctor. So the next question was, will fortification of food materials affect the goal of sustainable agriculture in the long run?
Yeah, that is there. That's why even the cost-effective technology is there. We have some existing very good platforms, and we can do. India can achieve the sustainable development goals that is relevant to the 12 goals. Like we can fortify. In Rajasthan, the central government started fortification of iron and folic acid in school lunch. Okay. That's why we could prevent most of the adolescents' anemia and even the pregnancy-induced anemia. Everything we can cater to the needy people of the society. And sometime in a community we will address as a micronutrient deficiency. Like twin fortification of salt will cater the goiter and anemia, like that. And most of the neural tube defects in a generation could prevent the fortification with iron and folic acid. That's all we can do.
Doctor, I have a small question or suggestion in this regard. Myself, Dr. Arun Panu, working in holistic nutrition database, like under the University of Transdisciplinary Health Science and Technology. Can I ask the question?
Yes. If I know, I will
yes,
reply.
Doctor, please.
I have very limited knowledge.
Okay, fine. So you are saying fortification will help in the society, and in the meanwhile, you mentioned regarding to preserve the traditional knowledge and traditional varieties as well. So fortification, will it actually affect the fortification, like the traditional varieties will get destroyed by fortification?
No. That is different concepts that you have to blend it together. Means The
So
fortification,
blending always will remove the variety or the variety of
no,
species.
no, yeah, but see, in Rajasthan, if you want to make malnutrition free, because it happened in Rajasthan, they fortified the staple diet because that wheat produced in that desha does not have much sufficient amount of vitamin B. So when they fortified vitamin B with various technology to the wheat, that is the staple diet. The entire community of that state went on feeding that. And then the mental development and physical development more pronounced. So
That
sometimes because of
uh,
the desha or because of the environment, now you know the agriculture, the soil is washed away. Save the soil campaign is there because of the environment and all. So it's a question of sustainability. So sometimes nutrients, what we expect in the pulses or in the harvest, or let it be even the millet is silver bullet. It is known as 2022 is known as International Year of Millets. Let it be that grain also. We can't over expect from that because of environment will come into play, pollution will come into play, soil health will come into play, soil nutrition density will come into play. So you may
that
need
is why I
to
asked.
take that
Like
into.
we have some
Yeah,
examples regarding,
with
for example, the BT cotton or the golden rice or those kind of varieties, which has played a lot of role in genetically modified crops. Now the world is moving into non-GMO style.
yes,
And
yes,
when
yes.
we fortify the crops with these kind of things, will it affect the sustainability? It won't actually be tolerate enough to the climatic change which is happening nowadays. Will it be affecting to the sustainable agriculture?
That everything will be detailedly explained from the authorities, scientific bodies, National Institute of Nutrition in India. So if we want to do a fortification and we have to investigate about this, the details from National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad. So they will come and they will analyze it as so yeah, that's all. Like environment, we can't predict and we can't uh, consider. Only the thing is you can heal some community problems with this advantage of technology. That's all.
Okay, doctor.
Mm.
Thank you.
So, doctor, the next question is, what are the suggestions in terms of Ayurveda for meeting these hidden hunger things as per your view? It would be useful
Hidden,
if you can mention Ayurveda reference in the presentation, rather several statistical as well as government data. Ayush department is doing several activities in terms of malnutrition in the tribe. Please explain something regarding the same.
okay, it is a long question. Okay. So the thing is, I already explained, but not in the slides. Okay, there is a Kuposhan Mukt Bharat, and it is exclusively, it is from Ministry of Ayush. So recommendatory dietary guidelines. I already mentioned about the utilization of feeding habits with ragi, halwa, and all. So micronutrient deficiency is the hidden hunger. If you use Nitya Sevani Ahara properly, Shashtika, Shali, Mudga, Sainghava, Amalaka, Yava, Andarisha, Payasarpi, Jangalam, Matuja, Appreciate. So these are the common Nitya Sevani Ahara. Or for those who are malnourished and facing a poverty, socially and economically, they are low qualified to take the nutrient profile or nutrient dense foods. You can give ragi halwa, ragi laddu. That is the millet, is silver bullet, calcium rich, dietary fiber rich, and jowar roti you can give, which is having low glycemic index, can heal the lifestyle disorders. Also, there is already told Shatavari fortified wheat is given from Ministry of Ayush. There is a 30-gram Shatavari is fortified with 1 kilo of atta to make chapati to ward off the maternal anemia and maternal problems. And we can consider like lot of Bhojana Kutuhala, there is mentioned Yavapanaka, Tilapanaka, and Kshirapaga preparations. And Kshema Kutuhala, various references are there, and Pagadarpana, various references are there. I didn't announce much in the slides because it is, I wanted to make it in the modern and then interpret with Ayurveda. So mostly I wanted people to abstain from the processed foods and switch into the traditional, locally indigenous resourced vegetables. Of course, Ministry of Ayush is posting in Facebook. Weekly, they will post the recipes. That is from Bhojana Kutuhala and Pakadarpana. Okay.
I put forward that question because I myself worked along with the National Institute of Nutrition and Ayush Department in the tribes of Nilgiris with the help of our institute under the project name RIST in anemia eradication. So we used to do Dhatri Loha related things. So I thought there will be some inputs from your side as well. So only I just asked so the other fellow members also will get to know regarding that. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have much expertise information regarding this.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Just ask so that there are so many references available regarding the same thing. We used to prepare
Okay,
the
okay.
Atriloka chickpea, and because this tribal people are very much reluctant to this fortified foods and even with
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
fortified medicines as well. So we used to introduce fortified like snacks in the form of
Yes,
chickpea
yes.
and all. We used to see tremendous increase in their anemia, like hemoglobin levels and all. We used to assess and all.
Oh, thank you for sharing this. Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
informative. Yeah, so socially and culturally it will vary, like acceptance and all.
Thank you, doctor. So it was very interesting to know these facts. The next question is, so how can Ayurvedic doctors contribute to the change of habits of people? I mean, can they take time off from their consultation to advise the patient on good eating habits? Can our doctors practice wellness more?
Yes, we can do. Anyway, there is this quotation that without pathya, the aushadha will not exist. So always you can prescribe the diet. Even if you are treating a diabetic patient, I'm not speaking about the Stula Pramehi or Pisha Pramehi. You can prescribe the Nishamlagi Kalka as a diet, or Asanadi Kashaya, that's a medicine again. Also bitter gourd juice or ash gourd juice, Tikta Shaga is very good for Prameha, and Tila Panaga you can give for PCOS, Yava Panaga we can give for obesity, and such things we can prescribe. Mindful dietetic prescription according to Prakriti and physiology of patient. So there are a lot of things are there. Garbhini Kshirapaga for Garbhinis, and Ashoka Pushpak Kshirapaga we can give for PCOS, and Shatavari Bala Kshirapaga. And coming to musculoskeletal disorders, we can mindfully prescribe Dashamula Hraswa Panchamula preparations, Arjuna Kshirapaga for heart disease, and there is for mental health, Jadi Bhala for Nidra Nasha and all Jadi Bala Madja, we can mix it with milk and give in a moderate level. So that and all is already.
Doctor, thank you. And I would also like to add something here. That the wellness aspect as well as the food dietetic advice aspect. I myself being head clinical services of K.S.Varier Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited, we at Ashtanga, we do take time off for dietetic consultations as well, because I'm very thankful to my Swasthavritta teachers, Dr. Kavita MB, as well as Dr. Shivakumar, as well as Dr. Tripathi, for enriching me with such information and helping me out with my practice these days. I just needed to give this sentence here so that I felt very thankful to them. Doctor, then there are a few comments here. Lots and lots of information on nutrition and well-being. Thank you, doctor, for sparing time for Ashtanga and educating the members. Thank you. This is from our MD, Mr. K.S.Varier.
Thank you for that beautiful interaction. It's also very informative. I also gained knowledge through that facts and all through this interaction. Finally, thank you so much,
doctor. There's another comment, informative and inspiring session. Thank you, organizers, for arranging the session. Wonderful session. I also got a few comments in my WhatsApp as well, that the webinar today was unique with information which is not just about Ayurveda, but also about wellness and the food we eat. So that is also a really beautiful comment from one of our viewers. I would also like to add here that there is the feedback link given here. Twice it has been shared here. So the viewers can kindly fill in the feedback form This will also help us for our future webinars, as well as it is also useful for you to get your certificate. With this, we come to the conclusion of this webinar. Before that, I would like to ask our MD, Mr. K.S.Varier, to give a few words.
Yeah, Dr. Sukanya, it was very nice, informative, quite a long one, but surely it was informative, and I really wonder how long we will be able to, how disciplined can we be in each and everyone be in taking care of our nutrition, nutritious aspects. Thank you. It was very enlightening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to ask our medical superintendent, Dr. K.S.Varier, to give a few words.
I don't see him here.
I think he is not available right now. He was there throughout the session. I would ask our executive director, Mr. K.S.Varier, to give a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Girish. So, Dr. Sukanya, it was a very powerful presentation. You had a very authoritative voice. Your presentation was very authoritative, and you have given a lot of facts, and you have always gone back to their proof or to make your presentation more credible. So I feel your presentation has been very credible and very informative. Thank you very much for coming here, sparing the time, and you've been with us for almost 1.5 hours. Thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving those few words. I would like to ask one last time to all the participants if you have any questions or queries.
I think we do not have any more queries. With that, we come to the conclusion of this wonderful webinar. Thank you so much, Dr. Sukanya, for being with us and giving us a wonderful session. This was a very informative session, as well as the discussion was also very fruitful for all the viewers and listeners here. We got a lot of information regarding what we eat, which is a major source of, which is the major need today, because the information of what we eat is what is going to empower us. So with that, we come to a conclusion of this session. I would like to thank everybody present here, and would also like to ask everybody to kindly join in for the next webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you.